I have heard a lot about you and in industry. People know you well known compliance and risk expert, right? So today I will like you to tell me your story about the journey of your towards risk and compliance. And
That's how I started conducting the assessments for various organizations. Almost during that period, I more than around 750 plus mandates I conducted the audits.
hello everyone, welcome back to the Gaurav Batra show. I am in Navi Mumbai today at QRC Assurance and Solutions Private Limited. We are going to meet their founder and CEO, Vamsi Krishna Maramganti. He is well known in the industry and have around 20 plus years of experience in data privacy, risk and compliance. Let's explore his journey together. Hey Vamsi, welcome to the Gaurav Batra show.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you.
So I have heard a lot about you and in industry. People know you well known compliance and risk expert, right? So today I will like you to tell me your story about the journey of your towards risk and compliance and how the entrepreneurship came in.
Okay, it's a long journey, but I will put it in a very short. Okay, actually, I started almost 99. Predominantly 99 is the period where I started my journey as a into the software development. As usual, all the people that time is the software is very very lucrative market. So I started my journey as software developer in 1999. And what has happened during that period, I was working with a kind of a different industry altogether, like it's a kind of a manufacturing electronic industry. Okay. So from where actually when I started my journey as a software developer, I used to work with multiple domains within that organization to build that softwares for them. By virtue of the dealings, always you see software development means there is a problem, there is a solution. We should come out with the solutions, right? So it become like a problem solving techniques, using problem solving technique, converted that into the automation mode. So that's how I started. And that time actually one more important element is the quality management standard. That is even today also it's a very good ISO standard. I started reading that ISO standards and everything to ensure while developing the softwares, we will come out with the proper process in place wherever there is a gap, identifying the gap as a problem solving technique. That's how I started my journey. Because of all these, one is ISO standard, the quality management standard. So streamline the processes and understanding the problem and solving that problem by using a software. So that's how actually I got into that kind of, exposure towards all the domains within that organization. And around 2003, 2004, because I'm basically from the computer background. So definitely that time actually once I settled into that particular role, okay, then by the time already I have a good amount of knowledge about the standardization and process improvements and everything. I became the management representative in that company along with my software development thing. Then that point in time, the technology is actually evolving. Even the manufacturing industry are coming into the IT side, because they want to take the support of the IT and everything. So that's how actually because of my computer background, I became IT in charge of that organization. So that after 2005, then I shifted my focus into the security. Information security. That's where exactly that ISO 27001 2005 version
public. A great year actually.
Yeah.
My ethical hacking that time.
Okay. So I did my lead editor training that time. And then 2006, actually I got an opportunity in another company as an auditor. Okay, in 2006 I joined IRQS. It's a part of IRS, Indian Register of Shipping, but they have the division called IRQS. So I joined there in a role as an auditor for ISO 27001 and 9001, because that is what my heart and soul, right? So that's how I started conducting the assessments for various organizations. Almost during that period, I more than around 750 plus man days I conducted the audits for different organizations in a domestic. It's not in particularly Mumbai. Even I traveled a lot in from all the south, west, northeast. Okay. So that point in time, every time when I visit any organization, always you see, as an audit process, there is some positive findings and some kind of negative findings, particularly process level or the whatever the things. So every time when I come across such kind of situation, I started thinking, okay, if I am in that place, what I will do to come out with a solution, right? So there's basically this kind of improvement things comes into my mind. But it is more or less it is a domestic market. I used to conduct assessments for the software development companies and financial institutions and business. That time call centers and everything is very boom, So I mean manufacturing industry. You take it all the industries. Almost I covered all types of industries and finding out there is some problem here. Probably they would have. As an editor, I cannot give the consultancy to them. But I know if they do something, if they change a little bit of process, they can get the better results. That thoughts came into my mind, and around 2011, I left that organization. Almost 5 years I worked there as an auditor, and also I became the head of operations there and handling the people management. That is also one of the different skill. Yeah. That is a different experience because I never been handling. So those opportunities I got from IRQS. Then I joined one multinational company. So where actually I started working towards the payment card industry certifications. That's where actually I started connecting to the international customers. I almost traveled almost 40 plus countries for this assessment. So that time actually I got an international exposure. So that's where actually, if you look at an Indian perspective, so generally the entrepreneurship is, I am not sure why people, nowadays has been changed. Yeah. But around if you take 10, 15 years back, starting a company is like a dream, I mean, either I have to have my, the family business, then automatically I will be part of that. Yeah. But independently starting something is very challenging, and no one supports, even our family. Exactly. Something even today, not even today. So, but that time actually when I started connecting with the people outside of the India, so mostly I used to travel UK to US and Southeast Asia. There are a lot of young entrepreneurs I have seen. So I got motivation. Okay, it means it is nothing impossible. It's possible, but we have to have a proper way planning and something. That's where I started. At the same time, there are two things. Why entrepreneurship? Why I want to start my own. One thing is whatever my entire experience telling me, we can run the business like this, or we can establish the systems like this. If I'm working in any other company, I can't do that. Certain extent, there is a limitation to implement certain ideas and everything. At the same time, initial my career, because getting the job is very difficult, particularly industry. The freshers always face a problem, getting an opportunity. So in my mind, I want to give the opportunity to the kind of a freshers. They have the ability, but they need a platform to prove themselves. Particularly cybersecurity is highly impossible, because cybersecurity or the information security, people always think that even auditing also. When I was starting audit, that time I was hardly to see, hey, he is a so young chap, how come he can become an auditor, something like this. So even I'm working as an auditor. So because the people perspective to look at the auditors or the consultant or the cybersecurity security experts is like that, there should be minimum of 40, 50 years plus experience. Then only they can do something.
That is what even in industry people want, that experience auditor.
Right.
If you have that gray hair now,
now I have the gray hair. That time it was not like that.
Like auditor.
So that's how actually. Then this one is I want to give some opportunity. I mean, create a platform wherein the people can start their careers with company, right? Second thing, the motivation I got it from the young entrepreneurs with whom I interacted. Okay, so this is second. And third important element is I want to run the business as per my ideologies, right? Bringing the transparency into the way we provide any service to the customers or something. This is how actually 2015 I took a decision, came out. Thankfully, my family is also supported me in this, because that time actually, like, auditors are kings,
Yeah.
generally the king's
Till today,
king
yeah,
life,
yeah.
king's life, I left everything and I started from zero type. Okay, but fortunately I got a good team, good team, and they understand my ideologies. They also supported me. At the same time, the family and even the friends, supported lot in this journey. So that's how actually,
Yeah,
I
sometimes
can
it
do.
looks like it's someone, it's one person journey. It's not. There's a effort of, there are many people
Many
who
people
help you
definitely
to
in
be
a certain
succeed,
stages,
right?
certain people
Yeah,
helps us, So
exactly.
that's the
So maybe, Vamsi, in your career, so you have been into international, many different companies, audited things. What were the challenges which you saw that in compliance, organization are facing, and which something QRC can help? You started your journey to solve some problem, right? What all
right.
those challenges and problems you saw?
You see, actually, here again, it is my whatever my experience I've got, because a lot of times, the people compliance, cyber security, information security, there are a lot of words, but I look at everything is a different. For me, like information security is different. Information security, not only now, even decades, 3-4 decades back, also information security people were talking. Cybersecurity came into the new buzzword because of the technology evolved, and most of the things are converted into the electronic media and support of the IT and everything, the cyber world. Compliances is whether when I look at the any compliance, like if you look at currently in India, there are a lot of regulatory bodies. There, the compliances which they are asking, it's not only restricted to the security point of view, but as a governance point of view also, they want some compliances, right? So the compliances is different. For me, security is different and cyber security is different. Information security, because I have an experience, 27,000, predominantly it's the information security management standard, right? So I conducted an audit for a manufacturing industry. They design the locks. There is no single computer in that company. Only for the printing purpose, they use one single computer. We certified that company. How there is nothing electronics or nothing, but they want to secure that information, the design information in a physical format, right? That's how actually that is the information they want to secure it, whether they're using the computers or the big IT systems or not, or manually. So this is the information security, how you call it. Yes, if they're using the IT systems and where there is an insider or external attackers threats is there, then automatically the cyber will come into the picture, because they are depend on the internet things. When if both are there, and the compliances is like it can be anything, whether it is a legal compliance or the regulatory compliance or even the whatever the requirements comes from the stakeholders, they have to follow that. So compliance is something I look at different altogether. Security is altogether, and the cyber security is different.
Okay.
Coming to the point here, lot of times people, the question which you have asked me, what is the challenges are they mix up everything in one place. Nowadays, the situation is compliance means it is a cyber security is the compliance. No, compliance is different. You have to look after your process. In the process, there is no cyber process, people, and technology. When it comes to the technology, yes, you can decide whether it fall under the cyber category or not. So the point is that, because what is happening most of the time, organizations, when they need to comply with some specific standard or framework, they feel like, okay, I'm having good IT infrastructure, it means I'm secured. But what about the process level controls or the people level controls or organization level controls? If you are not following that, then you will be non-compliant. So this is the very fundamentally there is a difference. This is where I don't know where that mixing up the things, but problem is that no one is there to explain to them, hey, this is what it is, right? Only being an IT infrastructure is in place, it doesn't mean that I'm compliant to everything. So this is one of the challenge which I can see.
Great. How QRC helping the people to solve those challenges? How you are simplifying it, and more importantly, are you doing any innovations in this area?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, we are working on this, since some time. And let me show you something on this, particularly how we can help the organization, helping the organizations.
Sure, I will look forward to. Sure.
Let me show you. This is actually our innovation. Okay.
Okay.
Last
QRC Assist.
QRC Assist. Actually, last more than 2 decades experience of mine, and also my colleagues. Okay. And also last 7 years we are into the certification services, right? I mean, doing all the kind of PCI certifications, ISO certifications, also all the regulatory assessments towards various compliances. So we found there is a gap by understanding the standards, frameworks, or even the compliances. So what actually we did, last I worked on this, particular product. It's a SaaS platform which helps that organizations to understand the compliances in a more better manner. Okay. So how it is like we created this platform wherein we categorization that different types of domains in terms of whether it is organization level controls or the people control, technological controls, and also what we did in this platform. Basically, we combined different workflows into automation, right? So this will give them the first clarity what is the requirements. Now, if you look at there are some other platforms which is only focusing on the global standards or global frameworks. No one actually looking into the that particular land of the law. Okay. Ultimately, I have to comply with my land of the law first, right? Yes. So if you take financial institutions of India, they have to follow the RBI regulation, compliances, and everything. If it is a SEBI, it can be IRDA in the insurance sector, or even the UADA. There are a lot of regulatory bodies are there. They're coming up with a lot of requirements to fulfill by these organizations to manage their compliances and also manage their licenses. But no one actually focusing that. That is a very big gap which we found. Okay, then how to fill that gap? Because of then we found, even though the requirements are clear from the regulatory body point of view, but there is no understanding at the organization level. There is a lack of awareness about what they are supposed to do. So no one is there to tell them, hey, this is something which you're supposed to be implement within your organization or manage it. So that's where actually one is the challenges facing by the organization is, one is the lack of understanding about the requirements from this, regulatory bodies, or about the any compliances. Most of the time people comes, PCI DSS they required because one of their bank asked for that, but they don't know what is this PCI. They know only the name because the bank asked them to do. So such kind of a time, what is happening? There is a lot of time they need to implement, first understanding, then implementation, then going for the final assessments or certifications, then managing that again as a continuous process. So there is a big challenge, because the challenge is they are not aware. Second, there is no sufficient force. People force there to implement the things and standardizing the things. So this is one of the challenge, and because of the high demand of the cyber security experts are very few now. There is a lot of demand for that. So it is obviously for any startups or any small medium industry, they can't even afford to hire the kind of competent people there. So that's where actually we thought, okay, let us keep our experience convert into the product. Okay, amazing. Right? Because we are the people, we helped organizations to implement these kind of systems, and also we as a audit firm, we certifying. We know as a auditors, audit firm, what exactly we want. We look into that. Okay, with that kind of a combination, actually now we want to reach out to the more target organizations, so that it will help organizations to adopt this, which will make sure their life easier with a transparent manner. What is exactly they required, and they can manage their compliances in a different ways, assigning to the people and see their current posture of their compliances. And also, even because of this domain structure which you have created, very unique structure. So it's not about only the overall one particular standard. It's about The domain wise, they can see the dashboards and they can see how good I am in the people controls.
Oh,
Okay. And above that, we defined into the control areas, like if you take asset management, where I am standing in the asset management point of view. Then collaboration between the teams. Very important that we are providing a lot of guidelines, guidance, notes, templates, and reading materials and videos to so the people can read out, listen, and watch, so they understand what is the requirement.
Definitely, it seems like it's a need for me as well. I'm going to use this tool.
Right.
So, like if a startup like me want to explore, how we can start?
So actually, what we did because it's a very big platform, there are different modules are there, like starting from the compliance module to the vendor management module or the VAPT, security module, etc. So, but at the starting, if any organization can, we have a self-assessment platform also.
Okay.
Because that gives a particular idea of what exactly the requirements from the particular compliance standpoint. The good part is we are actually covering not only the global frameworks like PCI, ISO, GDPR, HIPAA, and SOC. Other than that, NIST. Other than that, we are actually focusing on for example, IRDA recently, given some cybersecurity guidelines.
Yeah.
So that is also there as a part of our self-assessment.
So self-assessment means I can do it myself.
Yes. You can definitely. You can just register. Okay. And you can select the specific standard or framework you want to see where your current assessment you can do on your own.
And how much money I need to sell it for?
No, it's a free of charge.
That's amazing.
Right, because it's a self-assessment platform, because that is what our intention is, to whatever our knowledge we want to share it with the public, and they can take the help. We want to become a part of their growth, their success story. So that is main intention. So this self-assessment tool platform is absolutely free of charge, nothing to pay anything. And above that, people can, most of the time the organization comes, they don't know where their actually current status. So it will help them to understand, hey, I need this, I am having currently this, and I need to work on this. So at least that clarity of the thought will become.
Fair enough. And I think this is a great work you and your team has put together in last 7 to 8 years of your journey. And during this time, you must have been recognized by many good forums or many awards. Will you like to show us something on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so amazing. This is all you have got.
Yes. I mean, this is some of the things which last few years when we are working, because some recognitions, and recently actually we awarded from Banking Frontiers regarding, that QRC Assist as a, platform which helps mostly into the banking sector, because as I mentioned, our more we are focusing on the local regulatory requirements and everything. So that's where the recognition. This is a recent one, I think.
Okay, I think I saw some on LinkedIn as well.
Yes, actually. And there are a couple of things like inspiring CEO. Prime Insights. They recognized my efforts towards as a CEO, and good Indian Achievers Award in 2020. We got it, that one. And also we do a lot of social responsibility point of view. We actually helped a lot of organizations. So there is a Girija Welfare Association. We provided some kind of bets and everything for that organization. So they given some appreciations, and like a trustworthy company, and
amazing.
So the CEO managers and CEO story. So it's been, because you see, the point is that in my thing is that, like, when we are doing our work, automatically all these recognition awards come.
Amazing. Okay, I think I advocate that, and I think you are doing a great work in the industry. Right. Maybe for my viewers, will you like to tell me a successful case study for a customer where you actually help them and they are gaga over it?
Yeah, definitely. Let us. I think we can sit and we can talk about this.
Sure, definitely.
Okay. So. Yes, we are actually almost one case study is very difficult because I have to choose which one. Okay. Because last 7 years or last 8 years, we are working with multiple organizations, domestic and international. So, but yes, definitely I can take one case study of this. That we working with one bank. It's a very big bank in India. As you know, in the banking industry, there are a lot of regulatory requirements and lot many compliances needs to be maintained on a day-to-day basis. So the challenge is because one is the RBI regulations, and they are into the microservices, micro ATM services, the payment card industry standards is required to comply, as well as their subsidiaries are having the insurance products also. So IRDA came. Because of this micro ATM, the UADA came. You see, it's multiple, almost all the financial, sector related regulatory bodies, they have to comply. They have to comply with their guidelines. They have to comply. And above that, the huge infrastructure, that is almost like a 2000 plus, the IT infra, like servers, networks and everything. Even though they have the very good number of compliance team, but the CISO main challenge is, he told me like, Vamshi, most of my, almost all 365 days, my team is just attending the audits. And once one is completed, another come, another completed, another come. In between, because of this huge infra, they have to conduct the regular vulnerability testing, penetration testing, application. They are having more than 25, 30 applications. So it's too much for them to, at the same time, being a bank, they have to meet the deadlines also. That's one of the big challenge. So that time actually he came and he asked me what is the provision. So what actually we did, first we said, okay, let us compile everything in one place first. What is the requirements? Not only their regulatory body requirements, even we try to compile with their internal, because it's a being a bank, they are the board of directors, boards are there, and their internal audit process is there, internal assurance systems are there. So we try to compile everything in one place. And we said, okay, now these are the things you are supposed to make it, right? Second thing, so because of that reason, we categorized into the categories. Okay. For example, if it is operations related, for example, there is a requirement from there. One of the policies that kind of a web security, how to protect from the phishing attacks and everything. So we categorized into the different domains, different control systems, and we said, okay, now this is what, as an organization, you are supposed to continuously comply. So that is where the word came, continuous compliance management. So what we did, we compiled all the requirements, we put it in the different buckets, and we defined that kind of a frequency for, continuously do that particular activity, and the responsibilities has been given to the different people. So this is what actually we did. At the same time, the VA and PT, because that huge infrastructure, so we have taken a kind of approach wherein we put it some kind of a sampling things that has helped them the very lot. You see, they have, for example, the Windows servers, all the Linux servers or something. We sampled and we first conducted the testing on that, and we cross-checked with all the devices which is relevant to the same configuration, same environment. Then apply those things. So that is where actually earlier, whatever the time they're spending, that almost like a 50% they, saved in the time sense, because they upfront they know what is the problems with all other systems. Okay, so that is one. But very important, the compliance management, we brought the continuous compliance idea. That is the idea which we brought into that and we implemented there. So now if you look at that, because it's not like the audit comes, anytime the audit comes, because they are already complied with that specific things. If it is not complied, something is, for example, just an example, human, what is that, taking the sign from the NDAs of the newly joined employees, or maybe conducting the training. So it automatically, because that is one of the human resource security domain. Okay. And there is a frequency as and when required, any person joined automatically, he is supposed to complete that part. This is important for meeting any of the compliance, whether PCI is asked for the trainings and ISO asks for the training, even other regulatory bodies ask for the training. Now, instead of looking at the different standards, we focused on the particular operational area, what they're supposed to do. Okay. That is where actually our main focus is not the standards, not evidences collection and everything. Focus on how to streamline this particular workflow so that it will never stop and it produce the results. So anybody comes at any point in time, that process is set. So we more focused on the process rather than the standards. Okay. So that is how actually after that it's become very easy for them to manage that company, because they know everything. And also we created some kind of a dashboards for them. If there is something not happen, then it automatically triggers. So at least they immediately, proactively, they can work on that. So this is one of the things where that particular bank comply with most of the things without any, hassle.
I can out of this, I can actually really make out the importance of having a defined processes.
Absolutely, that is
that
very
is
much
great.
important.
And
Yes.
I think, Vamsi, you have done great in your job time and in your entrepreneur time as well. We are seeing your team is quite happy, QRC is growing. So, at a personal level, what are your leadership mantras which make you successful in your journey?
So there are only two things. Okay, first thing, believe on people, and making error-free process. This is the two things which I generally follow, because anything, the people, you need to believe on the people. I mean, the people is the main asset. Absolutely. I mean, that's the main assets.
Yeah.
And more confident on them, they will produce more results. At the same time, supporting system, there should be some particular process needs to be followed. If these two things we think, then automatically things will work out in any organization.
Sure. Amazing thoughts and great learning from you, Vamsi. It was really nice meeting you. I wish you and QRC a great success.
Thank you.
Thank you. And here I will like to offer you a small gift from our side. It's not that coffee with current type hampers, but a good hamper. You will love it.
For me, it's like that only.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav. And it's my pleasure to be part of this interview and meeting you personally, as well as the Cyberfrat. Thank you very much for this great opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you. I hope you love this show. I'll see you in the next episode soon.